You're listening to Nothing Small About Business, where big thinking meets real world action. Ready to level up? Let's get into it.
Minu Mohan is the founder of Neural Edge AI. She helps small and mid-sized businesses adopt AI in their operations, and she teaches entrepreneurs and professionals how to upskill with practical, real-world AI skills. Her consulting work focuses on AI readiness and process alignment. She shows leaders where AI fits, where it does not, and how to manage hallucinations and how to set guardrails that protect quality. Her clients use her guidance to remove manual work, strengthen decisions, and improve team output. She also teaches working professionals who want to stay competitive. Her training focuses on applied skills, clear workflows, and safe use of AI in daily tasks so they can gain speed, confidence, and stronger results. Minu brings more than a decade in software and account leadership. She understands how teams operate and how to blend human oversight with AI in a practical way. She joins us to share a clear path for leaders and professionals who want to use AI with confidence and control. Minu, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited about today's episode.
Yes, this is a really interesting topic, and it's something that I've barely scratched the surface on. So I am really interested to hear all about this industry and how we can use it as small business owners. But before we jump into that, I would love for you to first give me a little bit more on your background and how you started your AI company.
Oh, absolutely. So I come from a professional services background. I used to sell consulting services to big companies, enterprise, mid-market. So I have seen technology being used to enhance their operations, enhance their uh, HR, enhance their quality control of the products they put out. So, and recently, ever since AI came out, I've seen so many companies just jump in and
Oh, okay.
waste
Interesting.
money on AI because they're like, oh yeah, we are AI first. Great, we are AI first. What do we do with it?
Like
They
there's
had
no
no
strategy
idea.
behind it.
There's absolutely no strategy. Yeah, we're gonna use AI, but they had no idea that they have to get their data ready. They have to get their processes ready. So I saw companies wasting money, and there's a new study that came out that 95% of pilots failed. And I'm thinking in my head, oh my goodness, why do big companies always have to get the first dibs on AI? What about our working people? What about our small businesses that this country runs on? Our
Right. And those are the people that
communities?
need the support.
Yes. And I'm like, why should all the big companies get all the advantages? So I actually got into a community where I said, you know what, I'm going to take this on and I will actually learn how to enhance small businesses and so they can be competitive. Because if they don't, within the next 12 months, their competitors will and they will be washed out. So that's my passion. I want to help small businesses stay relevant, stay competitive, and grow.
Right. That's such a good point that there's a lot of wasted time and money in AI because it's so new. And so for a lot of people, we can hear buzzwords like myself of, oh, yes, why are you using ChatGPT? I'm like, well, now I just started for all sorts of different topics. But so talk to me a little bit then about what strategy you implement with small businesses or where you even know how to start with the areas where AI can improve their business.
Oh, absolutely. So I don't throw tools at my client. I'm like, "Okay, let's forget tools. Let me ask you one simple question. What is the one task in your business that you wish you never had to do again?" And guess what the number one answer is? I
I would
don't want to write follow-up emails. I don't want to sit at the end of the day and answer the same question over and over and over again. I'm like, well, there you go. That's where AI can help you. AI can help seriously lower your time intake so that you can actually automate some of the things and actually get your time back to focus on something that you really enjoy. Could be family, it could be growing your business, it could be your pets, whatever.
Hmm.
AI will take care of all the repetitive tasks that you never wanted to do in the first place.
That's
That's where I
so
start
true.
small. Hmm.
So is that something where a business owner, like as a small business owner, when it starts as just a one man band, I imagine it's really hard to let go of what feels like some of that control and let AI take over some of those tasks. So do you work with business owners so that it still feels like their voice still feels like they're in control, or what does that look like?
Absolutely. We will go through each and every process that the person is going through. Let's say it's a solopreneur, right? I have a few clients who are just, they're content creators, they're web designers, sales trainers. I sit with them and I spend about half a day with them to look at each and every process that they have. And then I say, you know what? This is where I think you still need to own the process. This is where AI can own your process because you really don't need that much oversight. Wherever humans need oversight, I let the owners take care of it themselves because their voice, their humanity, their logic is more important than AI. AI cannot think for you. AI is more of a helper, a supporter. You still have to put in the effort. However, you can take away 75% of the effort you're putting in.
That's amazing. And I think that's where one of the big misconceptions is that, okay, if AI takes over, what does that mean for creators? But there is very much something to the fact that if you see a content creator that's pumping out AI, you're not feeling a genuine connection to that. And that's just something, innate within us humans that you can't replace with AI. So talk to me through,
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
So talk to me through then how you work with what areas specifically. So if that's email automation or like what are some of those other areas that can be automated that don't
Oh,
necessarily take away from, the creative aspect or the personality of that person?
absolutely. Just simple things, email drafting. AI can draft the email. You have to look at it like, yep, this sounds like me or this doesn't sound like me. Because you have to train your AI first before you even start, right? You have to give AI some context. Reminders. AI is great at giving reminders. And I'm one of those people who use reminders every day because I tend to forget things these days.
There's too
So
much
I
going
just
on to remember all of
I
it.
know, right? There's so much noise, and so I let my AI give reminders, client updates. Anytime there's a let's say a new offering or a new product or something that the client is waiting on, AI can handle that for you. Uh, Summaries. Sometimes you're taking a phone call or you're taking a video call, and you don't want to write down, so you let the AI record your
Oh,
phone
take your
call.
notes.
It'll take your notes, it'll tell you the action items, and it'll even draft an email for you to send to the client. Of course, you have to watch it before you send it.
Right, for sure.
Um, Content outlines. All these content creators, they can create outlines using the help of AI. But don't ask AI to write slop for you. You still have to write and let AI give you ideas. I get a lot of content ideas from AI. It's like my junior thinking partner, somebody like
Right.
I would call it my intern, right? Estimates. A lot of our contractor clients can use AI to estimate. For
Oh, that's an
example,
interesting point.
yeah, yeah, like for example, you're waiting on estimates. It takes days for them because they are so busy. You go to the client, you take the notes, you give it all the information, and the AI will just spit out the estimate. So you can just take that estimate, go over it, and email it to the client. Cleaning messy text. You have so much data on your computer or your mind. You just want to clean it up. AI can actually go through it and make sense of what's messy. Documenting steps, writing standard operating procedures for employees, newsletters. I'm actually working on my personal physical trainer. I'm helping him create newsletters so he can actually diversify his business. And just answering common questions over and over again, that is so much helpful for small businesses.
Right. And I think what you're nailing on is that it can really help the time factor that small
Uh-huh.
business owners don't have. The number one resource is, time and energy, I'll say. And
Mm-hmm.
AI can help with the time and the energy. So, one thing for myself, so I'm just getting started with using ChatGPT. I'm like your most basic user. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, one of the hurdles is sitting down and really understanding how I'm going to implement it into my business without wasting time, money, and
Mm-hmm.
energy. So, how do you see somebody that has never implemented AI before using, the quick little things with ChatGPT? How do you begin? And is it something where, okay, put in 1 hour of education or awareness around it, and you're going to save a day's work? Like, what does that look like for someone just starting?
Absolutely. So it's like you have to play with it, right? You have to, anytime something new comes up, you just have to put in the little bit of effort to understand, to play with it. So I actually offer, I would say, I offer a class. It's a series of classes, and I put new content every time. I teach them the basics. I teach them this is where you start, this is how you apply. So it's a week, let's say it's a week of a lesson, right? And I give them practical example. This is how you can apply. They'll go practice.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go practice, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. And I give them templates. Try this, see if it works for your business. If it doesn't work, we can pivot. Because ChatGPT is pretty forgiving, right?
Right.
It tends to agree with you all the time, but there are certain things you can do to say, you know what, I'm not liking this answer. I'm not liking this output. Let's go do it again
Mm-hmm.
until you're happy with it. So yeah, it's basic education. You have to put in some time and effort to understand what you can and cannot do with it.
Right. And then what seems a little bit daunting to me is that how do you know, like, what different programs to use? Like ChatGPT seems to be like the most common or famous one that people know of. But what I'm
It
realizing
is.
is there's so many different AI companies out there.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I call chaos.
And that's what gets
It's
overwhelming. And then I just don't do it.
exactly, it's chaos. So you just start with one simple, whatever you're comfortable with. I started myself with ChatGPT because it was accessible. It was free for a couple of, I started with a free plan. I was able to do most of my work. And then as I got into it, I started learning, oh, for me to write better, I'm going to use Claude. Claude writes so much better than ChatGPT. Okay, so I moved to Claude just for writing. Then I said, ChatGPT is always making up stuff for me. I can tell because I have some expertise in some sales and some account management. When I see answers that are made up, I can tell.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of people who are experts can tell. Then I'm like, this is not the right answer. So I talk to my friends, I talk to colleagues, I talk to my mentors, and they says, hey, have you tried Perplexity? Oh, what is that? It's a new large language model that does deep research and it gives you sources where it's pulling. So for research, I use Perplexity.
Oh, wow.
Video
Okay.
creation. Yeah. So there's so much out there. So you just have to start with one thing that you're comfortable with. Once you master it, then you move on.
Then
I
you build.
suggest, then you build. Do not get carried away with the overwhelm and the chaos out there in the world because there's so much and you wouldn't know where to start. You'll be wasting money, you'll be wasting time and energy, and then you're just going to give up because it's just too much,
It's too
too
much. It
much noise
becomes
out there.
overwhelming for sure.
It does. It does.
Yeah. I know. I could totally see. It's something, though, where if you don't jump on this train is leaving the station and it's going
It has
fast.
left the station. It's left the station. You better get
I'm
on it.
running behind it, so like trying to catch up. So I do feel, and let me know if you would agree with this, that if you're not implementing AI, you're going to get left way behind because people that are doing the same thing as you are going to look more professional, look more buttoned up. Their response time is going to be quicker.
Yes. I was actually talking to my plumber. Let me give you a basic example.
Hmm.
I've been calling my plumber for the last 3 days because I have an outside faucet that's leaking. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm like, I better get this fixed before the winter comes because I don't want this thing to freeze and burst, right? I know he's busy, but I keep telling him, why don't you get this automated chatbot in your system so when somebody calls, you get at least a text that somebody's calling. All you have to do is respond with a text. I got your message. I'll get back to you. At least I'm not left hanging
Okay. This is,
wondering whether you will ever call me back so I can call somebody else because I want this good thing fixed.
okay. And not to harp on plumbers, but literally the episode we just released talks about customer service. And this guy, Hank, literally in the episode says, for a study, I called 20 plumbers. And in a week's time, one called him back. And I was saying that you should at least have an automated text that says, "Hey, I'm on a job. I will get back to you." That would go such a long way than just feeling like, well, did they get my message? I have no idea.
I know. Will they ever call me back so I can move on to the next plumber? Because, okay, this is not even an emergency. Can you imagine if it's an emergency, how many people you have to call?
That's wild. You would think that you would
Yeah,
get somebody would be answering the phone on the first time.
right. And it's like the office, you call the office, nobody's answering because the main person who's supposedly taking the call is on the job somewhere. It's easy to automate that text. It's easy to get that chatbot service installed. So easy. And that's why I have a passion, I have a mission to help small businesses so they can grow.
Right, because
Otherwise,
that gap is going to get quite large with the use of AI, and it's going to become very
mhm,
clear who has taken the time to implement it and who has
yeah,
not.
yeah, exactly. And not when I say AI, it doesn't mean you're gonna automate everything, right?
Mhm.
AI is just a tool to help you. You decide what you want to automate, you decide where you want to be involved, and you decide what the rest of the world, the your job the AI can take.
Right. One thing I think is really interesting is almost like building awareness around your own personality and your own shortcomings. So for me, a lot of that can be, data, worksheets, organization,
Mhm.
taking my thoughts and making them make sense. I've got all the big ideas, but doing the detail portion is where I can fall
Oh
flat.
gosh. I this let me give you my classic example. I hate doing expense reports. I hate it
It
because you're
doesn't
like, oh
sound
my God,
fun.
I have to I have to take that receipt. So I had to save all those receipts. But then since AI, I take a picture of my receipt,
Hmm.
right? I email it to me. My AI picks it up from my email. It transfers it to my spreadsheet. It creates the report for me. I look at it. Okay, that looks good. I send it off.
And it takes seconds.
It takes seconds because I took the time to automate. So I don't save
Yeah.
receipts anymore. The minute, let's say I'm having a business dinner, as soon as I sign off the bill, I take a picture, I email it to myself.
There's
Takes two
something
seconds.
to the mental load of that too, because now you're not sitting in the back of your head saying, I have all my expense reports to do. Now I'm 2 months behind on my receipts. The mental load of that alone, checking that off and never having that weigh on your mind, there's something huge to that as well.
It is. It takes the load off. I'm not spending hours looking for receipts, first of all, because it's on my phone. I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Even if I missed emailing it, I can always go back and look at. So things
Wow.
like that, little things like that have made such a big difference,
So, what do you think is
you
the
know.
biggest hurdle of why more people haven't jumped on it right away? Or are you seeing that more and more people are adopting it?
The people are adopting, but let me tell you the biggest fear. It's fear of looking unprofessional because they don't know how to use it. That's the biggest one I see.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Fear of losing personal touch. I get it. I was like that too. I don't want to let go of things, but there are certain things you just want to keep to yourself. It's okay. Keep it. You
Hmm.
want to be involved. Your voice needs to be involved. Um, Fear of picking the wrong tool because there's so much overwhelm out there.
Hmm.
Fear of understanding technology. You don't need to be a technical to use AI. That's my biggest. If people don't get anything out of this, just remember you don't have to be technical
It's
to
it's
implement
funny you say
AI.
that because thinking about entering this world and implementing more things. So we own a small business. We own an optometry
Mm-hmm.
practice in our town, and one of our issues was our office is not open at 9 a.m. every day. Some of our hours are
Mm-hmm.
later, but we need to be getting back to patients that are calling at 9 a.m. to book appointments. And so we just
Mm-hmm.
had to start implementing a better system that includes AI so that it's a better response time. And sometimes,
Yes.
no, shout out to my parents. Sometimes I feel like my parents in that, oh, this seems like too much to learn. I don't want to do it the wrong way. I don't, you see those stories of like, look what AI created somebody with 3 arms. And I think it's just overcoming the idea that this isn't fully taking over your business. You still very much have a part of
Oh gosh, yes.
oversight.
Yes. Absolutely. I think, and that's what my main message is. I am a human-centered AI professional. I always want to make sure that the humans are the center of AI. I don't want AI to take over everybody's lives, and I shouldn't, because as humans, we have the voice, we have the logic, we have that personal touch, the emotional IQ, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI doesn't have an IQ. You have to provide that. So yes, you can give as much control to the AI as you want, and you can keep as much control as you want.
That's very interesting. So, with that, what are some of the mistakes that you see aside from, when you said they're spending money and wasting time? Like, what are some of the other mistakes that you see small businesses make with using AI in their business in their day to day?
So what happens with a lot of small businesses is they want to, first of all, they don't even want to try. I said, give it a try. And then when they do try, they want to automate everything.
When you get a little taste of it, you're like, here we go.
Here we go. I want to automate everything. I'm like, okay, first, do you even have a process documented somewhere that we can even look at to see if it makes sense to automate? No. Okay, let's start from the basics. We're gonna go step by step. If you have a process that's documented, after that, we'll decide if AI makes sense, because a broken process, a broken system cannot be automated. So let's not jump on the automation train. I see this is so bizarre. I see all these Tik, I mean, TikTok, I see Instagram Reels, I see all these people selling automation. I can automate this, I can automate that. And people just buy into the hype.
Mm-hmm.
And I
They're
feel so
buzzwords.
bad for these people. Yeah, I feel, and you know what? Trust me, they will go away very soon because they are not understanding the foundation of AI.
Mm.
How does AI even work? You cannot automate a broken system. If the system is not even there, the process doesn't exist. I'm sorry, but you cannot automate that. And the people like me who understand, who've gone through the education, who've actually understood where it makes sense, are the people you should be talking to, not these 20-year-old people who've learned how to automate things like, yep, I'm going to sell you an automation bot
Shiny
and you can
object.
automate every shiny object syndrome. Exactly. That's what I call it. Shiny object syndrome. And
Shiny
I just
object, yeah.
laugh and I keep telling some of my clients, please don't buy into that hype. Please don't. I can save you tons of money. Please don't do that.
That's very interesting because it's so easy to buy into the hype and say, oh, yes,
Yeah.
automate this so it goes directly here. But without that strong foundation and strategy behind it, yes, there's going to be cracks in that foundation. And over time, it's not going to be the best strategy. It's not probably going to help you. It's probably be more hindering at that
Yeah.
point.
I mean, would you build a house without a blueprint? That's the example I give. Would you buy a door without even knowing where it goes?
That's so true. So, one other
So
area I want to touch on is that, small business owners can be really busy. You're working 24/7. Are there
mhm.
areas in their personal lives, like, so for people that are listening that also want to implement AI into their day to day lives with their family,
Oh
grocery shop,
yes.
things like that? Like, what are some of your tips for ways to implement AI there that take off some of that load?
This is my favorite. I'm a mom. I wish when my kids were little, and I was working full time. I wish I had somebody who could meal plan for me. Because this is my biggest dilemma. What should I make today? What should I make for dinner?
It's the worst.
I now it's the worst, right? I mean, all the moms out there, I feel yeah. I I have created a custom. You have to be a little bit of a custom GPT. I tell my GPT, okay, today I have rice in my fridge, I have chicken in my fridge, I have broccoli in my fridge. What can I make today? It will research all the recipes in the world out there and say, okay, it'll give me, and I've given it a limit. Give me 4 recipes, easy, under 30 minutes. It'll give me a list. And I'm like, oh, that's easy. Okay, let me make that. Or on Sundays, I ask ChatGPT, okay, I'm going to the grocery store. Please let me know what to buy and help me meal prep for the next week. So it'll tell me, okay, you need to get 1 pound of this, 1 pound of that. So I don't overspend money on just buying random things. It
Right.
doesn't go to
Yeah.
waste. And then I meal plan using ChatGPT. But I have given it custom instructions because I've given it what I like, what I don't like, what allergies, what dietary restrictions I have. It knows all that
And it
because
remembers all that information,
it
right? As you
remembers.
okay.
I've created a custom GPT out of it, and it's really easy to do that once you learn. So it basically it's your assistant saying, "Okay, I know you're gluten sensitive. Let's not buy this today, or you've already had too much bread this week. Let's cut it out a little bit." It'll know. It'll tell you.
Wow, that's very cool. One of the only things I've been using it for so far, my neighbor Erin and I, we work out every day at 6 a.m. And there's
Mm-hmm.
days where if we don't know if we're not using the machines or the treadmill, we'll go on chat and say, put together a 30-minute workout for a 40-year-old woman trying to gain muscle. And it'll spit out a
Mm-hmm.
little workout and we follow it. And it's just that little bit. I'm like, wow, I wonder what other areas that I can prompt
Oh,
this to
yeah.
give me ideas
Um,
for
I
things.
I help my neighbor actually. She has four little ones, two in elementary, one in middle, one in high. Can you imagine her schedule?
Busy.
She busy. So I helped her create a schedule that basically lives on her phone, and she knows exactly which day, which hour the child has after school, which she needs to pick up. Somebody has to carpool. It's all in there, automated for her. So all she has to do is just speak to her phone and say, "Put this on my schedule." It'll go in there, it'll start doing its own thing, and then she'll know exactly who's picking who up, who needs to drop, who needs to do this, who needs to do that. So yeah, easy
Wow.
stuff like that.
And it
People
takes
don't
away from a
realize,
lot of the
yeah.
manual labor of doing that, going from the email, finding the schedule, adding it to
Mm-hmm.
your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away a lot of
And
those steps.
students, a lot of students are using AI just for study guide. Google has this great program called Notebook LM. You upload all your books, all your handouts that your teacher has given or the professor has given, and you can ask Notebook LM, "Hey, can you prepare a study guide for me? I have a test coming up." It'll go in there, create a video lesson for you, it'll create an
Wow.
audio lesson for you, and it'll give you a study guide. You need to study this. Why
Wow.
not? Why not? I mean, you're not cheating. You're actually asking AI to help you study,
Right.
which is
You still
great.
need to retain that information. And what's
Yes,
cool
yes.
too is, for people that have ADHD, I myself, I'm somewhere on that spectrum, having things presented in a different way can be a game changer for the way that, you learn things. And so
Mm-hmm.
having even the note taker, when you said it's taking notes, I am not great at taking notes. It's all in my head in a million different places. So I'm not going to sit there and write really good notes. But if I have a AI doing that for me, sure, that's going to spit out notes that are 1,000 times better than anything I would have created.
Yes, I have a note taker. It automatically turns on every time I have a video call. And literally, or any phone call, video call, it turns on itself. It's automatic. After it's done, it's gonna spit out a summary. It's gonna spit out the transcript of the call. It'll spit out action items. And if I want it, I could say, "Hey, can you just draft this in an email?" It'll do that for you in the tone
Wow.
of your voice because I've trained it.
Interesting. Is there any downside that just sparked a thought of like, they're learning so much about us and our businesses and our daily habits and where we are and what our kids are doing and is there any big red flags that you see with providing it with too much information, or where does it
Mm,
turn to the dark side where it is no longer a safe place to to submit out all of your information?
right. So first things first, I have turned off all the training models. I train it only for myself. In ChatGPT, you can go into settings. Any LLM, you go into your settings and you turn off train for everybody. You just train it for yourself.
Oh, I
So at
didn't know
least
that was a thing.
your information stays sensitive. Second of all, I would never ever put client information in ChatGPT. If you're putting client information, make up numbers, make up names. I would never ever ever put the real stuff in, right?
Good to know.
Um, you have to put guardrails up. You have to let ChatGPT know you need to stay within these guardrails. It stays most of the time, and then if it starts hallucinating, it starts making up stuff, then you bring it back. I tend to be a little bit rude to my ChatGPT. I've named her Lexi. Lexi, you're going off rails.
I love that people name another guy that came on the
Mhm.
podcast. He named his, you know, I can't remember the name now, but I'm like, that's really funny that it becomes almost like this assistant where you have to name them and talk to them. And so when you say hallucinations, what do you mean by that? And I know that was in your bio
It's
as well, and I'm curious what you mean by that.
hallucination just means it starts making. Okay, so when you start working with chat, the longer it gets, it starts to forget what happened up there. So you have to bring it back, the context back, and say, okay, when it starts making up stuff, it starts giving you random answers that you're like, no, that's not right. That's hallucinating. It just goes off, right?
Got it. Okay. And I did hear where they're getting information. So, we talked about in one of our podcasts putting in different names for company names. And then all of a sudden, those names are premium pricing on domain websites and things like that. Are some of these AI sites talking to, like, are companies buying data and information from these?
They are. That's why I turned it off because
Okay.
people don't know that.
That's the
That
first
AI
thing I'm
is
going to
getting
do after
trained.
this is turn that off.
Go to your settings, it's under, I think it's somewhere in your settings, and go and say turn off training for everybody else. Just train it for myself. So that your
That's a great
data,
tip.
yeah, that's huge. A lot of people do know that, but there are some people who may not even have heard of it because they don't read the news, they don't know
They're
about
not in
it. So
that
yeah,
world, right?
my job is to educate as much as I can. Yeah.
Awesome. So another area that you've mentioned before that I want to touch on is that you said a lot of this information is coming from male voices and not female voices. So some of that energy is masculine. Can you talk to me through what you're seeing and what you're hoping to see in the future?
Yes, definitely. AI, open AI, Anthropic. A lot of the engineers who train the models it's a very male dominated field, technology. It still is in a way. There are tons of females out there. I love it. But the people who actually trained it in the beginning were a lot of males. It's an open fact.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we have it in our hands, I want all the women to start training it because the more women train it, the AI is starting to understand where women are coming from, how they speak, how they talk. Women are better salespeople. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Women are better at sales. I want women to actually adopt and embrace AI. So they're training it. So when down the future, 10, 15 years down the future, when somebody is asking a question, I want them to hear both sides of the spectrum and not just one side of the spectrum.
Is that
I
because
want them to,
yeah, is that because maybe the feminine energy has more
yes, hmm
vulnerability or, what are some of those
yes.
things that we're kind of lacking in these
Yeah,
responses
we're
right now?
lacking emotion. AI is very unemotional. I don't know if you've noticed, but you can tell after you've used it for a very long time, it just tends to give out answers that are very flat.
Mm-hmm.
And it tends to agree with you all the time.
That's a
So
problem.
that is a problem. So you have to, that's why I'm saying women have start, because the more you start typing, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you relate to people, the way you understand, it's a little bit different. I don't even know, back in the day, remember that book, Women Are From Mars, Men Are From Venus,
For
something
me,
like that.
yes.
Yeah, like and it's to a point very true because we do have different ideas. We do have different ways of handling things.
Mm-hmm.
So the
We're just,
more,
it's built different. Our
yeah,
infrastructure's just different. Yeah.
different. And I want women to get on the AI bandwagon because we need women's voices in there.
I mean, women could
Otherwise,
be
our
so
voices will
powerful by
get lost.
implementing some of these things and
Yes,
automating a lot of those tasks
yeah,
that we're responsible for, in our home life
exactly,
and with
right?
our kids and our day to day, taking those off our mental load just opens up
Yeah,
so much space to do the things that we truly want to be doing.
exactly. And so that's my passion. I have a few colleagues who are actually doing the same thing. They're actually passionate about training women to use AI the right way. So we are actually equal. I'm not saying we should take over, but we should be equally, on the platform.
Right.
So
AI should represent every person, every type of person from
every type
everywhere.
of
Hmm.
everywhere, every around the world. So you understand that it's not just biased in your opinions, right? It's taking opinions from everybody else. So you see the whole picture.
Hmm. What a difference that
You
makes.
get,
Even
it
traveling overseas,
does.
it's a very different culture. And so bringing some of that in, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Let me give you a classic example. I went to Thailand 3 years ago. The ChatGPT had just came out, and I didn't know what to do with that. So I was like, oh, you know what? It's been a while since I've lived there, and I want to see what has changed, what is new. I asked ChatGPT to make an itinerary for me, and I said, okay, if there are any nuances that I should be aware of, please let me know. And it did. It told me, look, when you go to the temple, make sure your arms are covered, make sure your legs are covered because they won't let you in. I'm like, yeah, it's good to know. I knew that, but for a person
Right?
who's never
The average
been,
person might never not know that.
yeah, yeah, they may not know, but it's a culture out there. So yeah, so
Yeah,
it's stuff like that,
that's a great tip.
culture, voices, yeah. So
Hmm. Very
yeah,
interesting.
I
I mean,
I do all my I do all my planning from ChatGPT.
I love that. Okay, so we're running out of time. I feel like I could talk to you for a lot about this as somebody that's just embarking on this journey. So, for those listeners out there that are kind of in the same boat that I am, what is one thing that we can leave listeners with that they could do today that can start enhancing their lives and their businesses with AI? What's that one thing to start?
I would say you can start Monday if you want. Pick one repetitive task that you hate doing, or that you don't want to do anymore, or you don't have time. Write the steps down. Move the repeated steps to AI. You may not know how to do it, at least just get it documented. And then it's easy. And then test it for 7 days if you can automate it. There are tons of tools out there which can help automate. And if they don't know how to do it, ask ChatGPT to help you.
Give me
It'll
the
tell you.
steps to automate. Yes. I love
Yeah,
that.
but
Well, it's been such
mm,
a pleasure talking to you. If listeners want to get more information or have questions for you or want some of those educational videos, where's the best place they can find you?
they can. I'm on LinkedIn, Minu Mohan. Definitely reach out to me there, or they can always reach out to me on my website, which is neuraledgeai.net.
Perfect. Very cool. And
Dot
I will
net.
link these in the show
Hmm.
notes as well so people can find you there.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well,
definitely.
it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. And hopefully, as AI continues to evolve, hopefully you'll come back on and educate us a little bit more on, some of the next steps.
Definitely, I would love to come back. AI is changing every day, and I want to make sure that people are aware what changes are happening.
I love that. All right. Well, thank you, Minoo.
Thank you, Sarah. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Nothing Small About Business. Make sure you follow the show so you don't miss the value in upcoming episodes. Share this with someone who's growing and connect on socials for more.